Rule number one, calling back-to-back timeouts is officially outlawed.
I love it. I do love it. I mean, nothing annoys me more than, I mean, just for me, like, even on TV, from sitting in the stands and you call a timeout, and then the kicker sets up, and you call another timeout, and then every time they bring that little goalpost on the field, and they say, we'll be back in 2 minutes and 45 seconds or whatever, and I have to and just sitting there and just annoys me to death. Like, I love it. You don't have to do that. It does take away. I will say it does take away from, like, let's say a kicker's setting up to kick. You don't know if you're gonna call timeout. If you got like 3 timeouts and you called one already, he don't know if you can call another or not. He's gonna kick it the same anyway. So, how many times we saw kickers kick the ball the same before the time when the timeout was called, and then he kicks it the same? I mean,
We've had a few too though that's kicked it. They've got the timeout off, but he kicks it and it's good, and then misses the second one, or
it messes with you.
it messes with you. Like,
as a fan though, sitting there, like,
I don't know. I like it. I don't like this rule. I like the icing the kicker. I think it's awesome. I think it adds so much to the game, adds excitement, adds anticipation, and I think it's dumb to take it away. Basically, all these rules are solely based on time. So they're punishing the game because they want the games to not take as much time. They're punishing the teams. They're punishing the action on the field. I hate it. I don't like any changes like this whatsoever. Rule number 2, not extending quarters. So basically, this rule will make it so that a first or third quarter would not be extended on an untimed down if the quarter ends on a defensive play. So in that case, the down would be clocked into the next quarter. I really don't care that much about this. To me, they're really, really reaching right here. Like they're reaching, like they're pulling their arm out of socket. They're reaching so hard right now.
It's hard to disagree with it. I mean, let's say it's the middle of the third quarter and there's a pass interference call. Then the next play is going to be a time play. So.
Yeah, job security, I guess, but I hate this. Thank you all for letting me know we're good on Facebook and YouTube. Mr. Jones, they got a great point. They got to do something about fake injuries, like make the players sit out the remainder of the quarter, or at least, yes. I mean,
let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about wasting time and games taking too long, I mean, why not do something about players faking injuries?
The faking injury thing, like, Ole Miss has done it, but Ole Miss is not the only team to do it in college football. So many teams throughout the league does it. Like, you're in a big run, fake an injury. Hold everybody up, and you're going to lay there for 2 to 5 minutes at least. Killing time. Enough to let everybody regroup. I believe, myself, honestly, if you get injured, I think you should you should set out at least the next until you get a first down.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too.
I don't believe setting out the whole entire drive because that takes everything. Like let's say Hendon Hook.
You don't want. Yeah,
Joe Milton was to get hurt, and he wouldn't, and he can come back in the next play after that, and you don't want him to set out the entire series. I don't believe in that, but get a first down, bring him back. Make them be like, okay, well, we'll have to go like 3 plays without him if we don't get a first down.
Yeah, I like that, or they've got to use a timeout to get them back, something to that extent. But that's a great point by Mr. Jones, because they want to punish, they want to punish the game for the time, and it's not the game's fault. I mean, the rule number 3. This is the worst one of all of them. Running clock. So according to this rule, the clock will continue to run after an offense gains a first down, except inside of 2 minutes of the half. Under the old rule, obviously, the game clock stopped when the team gained a first down. Then the clock restarted when the offense was awarded the first down.
I don't like it. It's the NFL rule. Honestly, it is the NFL rule. I mean, NFL, you get a first down, clock keeps running. That's how it's always been. NFL, and what's crazy about NFL, though, is they do that, the games are longer, but that's because they have more commercials, longer commercials. College, that's going to change up the whole entire strategy of how you play the game in college. It's going to set up like a typical NFL strategy because you're no longer playing like, okay, you get a first down. When the ball is placed on the ground and the referees call it, then the clock continues. Now it's going to be first down, they don't stop. That's a whole new ball game because college a lot of times comes down to time management. You run through time management. It don't matter if it's 9 minutes, 10 minutes to go in a game. You're doing time management through that game, especially that last 4 minutes of a game usually. That's a management drive situation, and it's just not for offense. It's not defense. I mean, it's for the offense too, because if the offense gets that ball back, they got okay. We can get a first down, and the clock's gonna stop. That means we can run up, get a play going, and we can hike the ball, and we can go downfield. That ain't the case no more. Now you get a first down, and it's like, well, what do we do? Timeout, or we're going to have to like pull out some different strategy plays. No more like slant routes, post routes and stuff like that, or corner routes to get the out of bounds or to get the short coverage. You're going to have to play the long route.
Yeah, I mean, with this rule, they're simply taking away what makes college football different than the NFL. And they're ruining it, in my opinion. The problem isn't that the game's taking too long. The problem is that their damn commercials take too long. You know, after every kickoff, here comes the man with the time clock. 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes, whatever. I mean, the commercial is the problems, but they don't care about that. It's all about the commercial money. So, just sacrificing the game people love, the players, they're sacrificing everything just for the sake of commercials.
I do agree with Luke. I do agree with Luke, but the way I see it is commercials do bring in the money. They bring in the everything. Like, without commercials, without advertisement, without seeing WVIK on a Knoxville TV station at least, like, you ain't going to have the money to do or an All-State commercial. You ain't going to have the money to put on this football game.
Well, I mean,
so I understand the commercial aspect, but
yeah, I mean, that's fine, but just leave the game alone or charge more for commercial, time if that's the issue, but don't take away everything that makes college football just to make the game shorter when the actual game is not what's making the game long. It's your commercials that's making the game long. This hurts Tennessee bad, too, because you're going to have these teams that love to milk the clock. And they're just, I mean, you get like a Nick Saban or something. I mean, that's all he's going to do is just sit there and just milk the clock. And they're not going to want to give Tennessee the football. So I really do. I hate this. Let us know in the comments what you all think about that. Let's see. Let's